Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we've got a little bit of a different style. I like to do these every single week, especially with the amount of drama that's been going on with Brawl Stars. Just giving you guys the latest information about what's really going down, especially if you've not been playing Brawl Stars as much recently. So, if you guys have missed it, there's an event going on right now. Every single day, they spin this wheel with random rewards, and it's just random BS, literally random. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's been happening throughout the game. We had a couple of days ago, they gave away a free hypercharge Poco skin, which was pretty cool, and they banned all assassins. So a couple of days ago, like I know it's only a small percentage of players, but also in ranked as well. There was no assassins in ranked. There was no assassins in friendly battles. Pro players couldn't scrim. I mean, again, this is probably the least of Brawl Stars' worry, and it's quite clear. But this is the theme of today's video, guys, especially because pro players are very angry. I'm no longer a pro player, but I'm still going to be pretty angered by a lot of this. So, again, today they span the wheel, and today number 8 is assassins only. So if you go into the game now, it's pretty much only assassins. There were some limitations, as you can see here. There's Shelly, Nita, Primo, Jesse, Rico, Dynamite still available today. So I think I might be streaming. I don't know whether I'll actually stream this nonsense, to be honest, because it's not really ranked, is it? It's just literally assassins only. So this was a couple of days ago. Semantic was like, imagine trying to scrim. There was also a big tournament in Latam going on, which was just kind of crazy to even think about. And we see here Luffy, a pro player for Tribe. He's saying Brawl Stars doesn't even care about the competitive scene this year. Well, he said this year was supposed to pave the way for a great 2027, or so they said. So I'm not entirely sure what he means by that. I've heard a few things, of course, behind the scenes. I don't want to leak too much, but what normally happens, well, they normally get probably told what's going to be happening this year, especially, or a few sneak peeks, and we kind of already know this already, but we'll go on to that later on in the video. But it was weird, right? Because I feel like Brawl esports in general is just getting better and better in terms of competition, in terms of how hype the actual world finals are. Like the level of gameplay and like what I'm watching is just insane, and every year it just gets better and better. But they've dropped back a lot of spots this year in Brawl esports and a few other things as well. Again, let's just get into it. So SpenLC said, oh wait, that's me, bro. This is the worst ranked season ever. Hackers every few games, a vision bug every game, broken buffies, the least fun I've ever had on stream, and just playing Brawl in general, really sad. So again, this is more so that I'm a competitive player. I like to get, try and push towards pro rank every season, and especially when you're at the highest level of ranked, or just whether you're the highest level in pro play, whether you're playing tournaments, scrims, whatever. If you guys don't know what scrims are, the practices against other pro teams. If there's literally an advantage for one team over the other, a 50-50 chance, and one of those teams have more vision, of course that's going to be frustrating. You'd think that kind of bug, a week maximum, would stay inside of a game. Of course, over the winter period, yeah, give them a little bit of leeway, but it's still been a couple of weeks since they've been back. It's just very, very frustrating. Hackers have been worse than ever. I don't want to highlight it too much, but it's getting looked into, of course, because the team is back from their vacation. But it's very, very frustrating. Like, I'm literally just starting the season in ranked. A couple of games, I think I was like 5 games in, and I was facing a hacker in like Mythic 2. Like what? Why is the mythic? I mean, I click on his profile, and bro has not reached past legendary yet. So it's so frustrating. I've rambled on about it a bunch as well. So the pros, of course, are probably not even touching ranked right now because of the amount of hackers in the game, which is just pretty sad to see. Broken buffies is what you guys know that I've already gone over that. So Angel Boy, this is actually a big statement because Angel Boy is a very positive person, guys. Angel Boy, it's very rare that you ever hear him say anything bad about anybody or anything, really. He's a very nice guy, a nice humble guy, and bro said this is the worst point in Brawl history as I know it. So as a pro player, yeah, it probably looks and feels pretty dark, especially because of other things as well. So you can see in his second tweet as well, if you add buffies, add them all at once to every brawler like you did when introducing gadgets into the game. That is a good point, but it's quite clear that they're probably doing that, they're releasing it in batches more as probably like a business standpoint, so there's always like fresh content every single update. and it's not really catered in any way to the competitive player base, in my opinion, the way that they release buffies right now, which I'm hoping they kind of explain more in the podcast, which is coming pretty soon, in terms of just buffies in general, because I'd just like to hear the whole thought process with everything in that podcast. So yeah, hopefully that's out pretty soon. But that's a really good point. One thing I was concerned about, like, why didn't they at least in bigger batches just release like gadget buffies for half the brawlers or all of the, you know what I mean? And that would just be it'd be a lot more fair, because it's quite clear, especially at the first year, just like when hyper charges came out, these buffy brawlers are going to be the best. Again, we've outlined this literally for a month straight now, and it's been like 6 weeks since the update, and there's been no emergency balances. Plus, it's impossible to scrim since 75 brawlers are deleted. So yeah, Angel Boy is pretty mad. So as you can see here as well, Powtech is on a mini account, and he's trying to pick brawlers. They literally can't even play them because it's so the brawler pool is so limited. So like, for the non-maxed out player, I guess it's going to be pretty frustrating. So Gugu, again, a pro player, everyone is complaining about your game. Stop acting like everything is fine and just listen to the people playing the game. So pros are very, very, very angry right now. And yeah, I've got to agree most of the part. Of course, I won't go too far in terms of the anger, because again, I don't practice, but you can literally, I guess they can touch grass for the day, but imagine if your qualifiers are literally less than 3 weeks away, as Lukey says, and they can't even practice for them, especially when it starts getting towards, I would say, at the beginning of the season. I'd say 3 weeks is probably the time you really hit the scrims hard, especially because there's like 6 monthly finals, I believe. So you really, really, really want to be hitting those first monthly finals well. But you can't even scrim properly for a whole day because of this. So I know there's probably limitations. I just don't think they really thought this event through. Again, a lot of content creators are getting frustrated. I don't know what you guys are thinking of this event. You'll have to let me know down in the comment section below. But as a content creator, I'm also feeling pretty frustrated of this event, because it's not very fun when certain things are very restricted. I mean, I guess it sounds pretty cool, like, oh, what if there was only assassins and Brawl Stars for the day? I guess they'll probably do this and never do it again, which is a cool thing to look back on, but just in the moment, it's very, very frustrating. The same with like banning all assassins. Oh, do you remember in Brawl Stars when all assassins were banned? Yeah, that was pretty funny and hilarious, but I don't know whether people are actually, logging on and playing the game. I'd love to see the numbers of how successful this event was, because I get the feeling that by the sounds of it on social media, I know social media doesn't represent the whole player base, but it just sounds like people aren't that impressed, not just the pros, just the general play base, so just not that impressed by this event, because it just restricts so much in certain ways. What if it was just more of a fun way? I saw a few things like, what if loads of brawlers were just fully maxed out? What if loads of brawlers were, I don't know, had longer necks, were much taller? Those type of things are probably more fun, but when it restricts people, I don't know whether that's fun. You'll have to let me know, especially with like when I think it's just Brawl Ball or Brawl Ball only. So like, people were just mad when it was Showdown only. People were just mad because they don't like being restricted to one particular game mode. Also, Chaos Pot is supposed to start in 3 weeks with monthly qualifier games, and we don't have the rulebook, they don't have the maps, we don't have the new format with the global ban. And on top of that, there's still a ton of bugs, and yeah, 3 weeks, and it's probably the most delayed it's been as well. I guess this isn't, well, it is a Brawl Stars thing, but it's more of a Brawl esports thing. Normally, I'd say like around 2 months, or say 1 month at latest before the first monthly qualifier, but it's 3 weeks. And if we go here, so we'll skip forward a little bit here. So we go to this tweet right here. They gave a sneak peek a week before Christmas pretty much, and they highlighted some things, but there was a few key things which I feel like if there was changing so much about Brawler esports, they needed to come out with a rulebook much faster. And you can see here, map picks. So that's literally changing the way that you play games. You get to pick the map that you want to play, which is very, very interesting. And this happens a lot in other esports. Teams can, I don't know if they can ban maps, they can pick maps. This happens in Call of Duty esports, which I watch. More bans. So already there's a total of 6 bans. And, apparently there might be some like global bans that people have been talking about. Again, this is a big shift. And for qualifiers to be so soon, I feel like they definitely need to know more information about that so they can prepare properly and practice properly. New game modes potentially. Yeah, I just don't really know what's, again, after reading this for talking about global bans, I don't really know what Brawl Esports are really playing at. I know that they've switched over from ESL to Blast as the people that are like running the show behind the scenes, which apparently is supposed to be exciting. ESL and were hit and miss. I think most people would have just preferred other providers, but Blast are apparently really good. I think they are the company that do a lot of the Rocket League stuff, so I have high hopes for that. This was just a side point. I don't know. I just thought about bringing this up. There's such a vast amount of good teams in EMEA, and there's only 8 monthly final spots, and there's only 4 LAN spots as well. So yeah, EMEA looks very, very competitive as a region. So Lukey again raging about this event. Can we ban the cheaters and fix some bugs before going on with some goofy events, which I can kind of attest to. I feel like they should have probably fixed the stuff and then put out this event towards the end, but I feel like, I don't know whether this event is rushed, quote unquote, but it just feels like they was trying to get some hype going, but it doesn't really feel as hyped, if that makes sense, in terms of the rewards, in terms of what's actually been happening in game. And Ope, of course, agrees with Lukey. And then, yeah, Chaos again with some good points about they can't scrim. Some people can't pick in ranked. No rule book. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot really going on right now. There is a lot going on. And the rule book is supposed to be coming out this week. But again, that would leave literally 2 weeks until the first monthly qualifier. So a lot that's been going on. Literally every single pro that you talk about. I know just a common thing in games, right? The pros do complain the most. I know that for a fact because I was a pro for years. And I also watch other esports, but those are the most dedicated players. You got to think about, they're putting in the most time. They're probably spending the most money on the game as well. And it just seems like as years go on, and this was a theme with last year's updates anyway, and what even just if you call it competitive players or even like the semi-pro players, they were getting mad because every update was just being catered towards the casual play base, pretty much all of them. And that was leading to a lot less people watching Brawl Stars on YouTube, for example. A lot less hardcore players just being engaged in the community. And if this trend carries on for this year, it could be a scary time well, at least like content creators, because less people just be interested in Brawl Stars. I do have high hopes still for Brawl Stars, still, honestly, guys. But as time goes on, it gets harder and harder to well, not really, but there should be a maintenance this week, right? And I'm just hoping that they can put a lot of the nonsense that's been going on this month in the past and just continue, well, just go on to great things this year as well. Fingers crossed. It's been a very, very bad start to the year as a content creator, as a pro player, as a hardcore player. The funny thing is that casuals probably don't even know what's going on, and they don't even realize nothing's wrong. And for me, when I play my free-to-play account, I don't really notice the problems too much as well. I'm having fun as a free-to-play player, but definitely not as a hardcore player. Anyways, that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.